Hi everyone, this is Marcie Besecker and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and thank you for joining me on this Thursday. So Thursday, not Wednesday. That's kind of weird, right? Thank you for joining me tonight. During April, I will be on Thursdays because my grandson's playing t-ball. And when I say my grandson's playing t-ball, he's 3. So he is on a t-ball team that he not necessarily plays. He rolls around, he runs and bumps into kids and picks up the dirt and picks up the bases and plays with them and runs to the pitcher, and yeah, but it's a lot of fun. So I do go, and we had a good time, and the weather was beautiful. Oh, hi Eileen, thank you very much. So Thursdays. Okay, so today I was moving some stuff around. I'm trying to really hard get out of that other room. You know, once your crafty stuff's in here and you're ready to craft, it's really hard to go back. You know how when you move into a new house and you got to go back and clean the other one and scrub the floors and the bathrooms and everything, and you're like, oh, pick up the trash and all that. That's kind of where I'm at, but I'm doing it because I've got my old furniture sold, and so I've just got to finish it. So I'm looking online at YouTube and my video looks really pixely and kind of weird. Does it for you guys? I'm going to refresh because that's really kind of strange, because on my screen it looks just fine. Okay, now it looks fine. I refreshed. It must be my computer. You guys, I'm excited about this card. This stamp set and this suite is just so pretty. I had to create with it, and now we're going to kind of change the colors a little bit and do some different colors. So we'll do that. Thanks, you guys. Yay, Deborah. Okay, so I feel so weird looking over here because it's a little farther than before. But let's see. This says, I'm looking forward to purchasing. Yay. Oh, welcome. Oh, let me go back up because it just scrolled right past me. Nayoka? Is that how you spell your name? Or say your name, Nayoka? Hi, Gloria. Hello, Elaine. Hi, Jennifer. I'm glad you made it. Hi, Steph. Hi, Roz. Okay, so, yeah, so I got my pre-order early. And then, of course, the gems that came that I didn't show on my pre-order, but I did get them. So I'll show you these really quick because they're beautiful. So these were some of them. Here are the new in colors. Oh, you know what? Let me pull out because you can't see the top. So let me show you. These are the new gems that now we do have. So these are the new, my video. Okay, the new in color gems are kind of a matte, but look, they are separated. So when you pull them out, see if I can pull this off. You can just pull one color off and then it just tapes right back on there. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you're just using one of your things of gems, you could just pull that color off. So that was kind of clever, I thought. These are another one. Let me get one that's open, because of course I had to open them and look at them all. Look at these new in colors. You thought the last ones were pretty? Uh-oh. Let me grab it because I just dropped a gem, so I've got to find it. We're only limited amount right now till the new ones, till May, so I don't want to lose my gem. Except it's not wanting to come up. It's sticking. Well, I'll get that in a minute. Okay, well anyway, here they are. Look at those. They're like a, are they frosty? Yeah, they have like little sparkles in them. I don't know. Here, let me try this. Let's try this real quick. See if you can see this better. So they're kind of a little bit of a sparkle on the inside. They're really pretty. So these are the new in ones. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Yeah, it's going to be in the 90s, mid to low 90s. This week here too. Oh, yay, Betty. It's always nice to go home, isn't it? So those are two of the new gems that came in. And there was something else that came in, and I don't remember what it is. So that I ordered, they showed up late on the list. But anyway, I got everything. I can't remember what the other thing was. So there are those. So again, really quickly, April, my new host code is here. So if you can jot that down, if you're looking to purchase anything, as always below in my description, there's a link and it already includes the host code. Just click on that and you'll see the host code in there. And then also my blog on marciebeseckerdesigns.com. When you go there on the right-hand side, it says host code right there, and it's right next to the big circle that says shop, and that's how you shop. So a lot of people, they'll message me and say, what's your website to shop at? The easiest thing is to go to my blog, and it's all right there on the front page. Everything's there. It's going to cool off here again. Man, how did I miss the gem? Oh, yeah, they're pretty. So one of the things I have to, were they grouped with a special set? No, I think they're in the back, Felicia, under the embellishments. So I did get my catalogs, and I know that the catalogs from Stampin' Up! Are going out. So again, if you were my customer, they're going to be coming your way if you ordered last year. If you do not have a demonstrator and would like one, and would like a catalog, that is, I would love to be your demonstrator, so just let me know. Again, you can go to my blog, and under contact me, it'll say order catalog, and you can fill out the form there. What else? Okay, so we have bingo coming up on April 19th. I'm going to show you. I know I showed you part of it, and so I'm going to show it again. And I made a little adjustment, and I did announce that on my Facebook page. So originally I was going to do this project here, and it has some 4 cute cards in it, and plus 3 additional cards. Well, that bingo would be forever. Once I finished these, because the cards inside are very detailed, I should have just done this as a class on its own, but I didn't. So, excuse me, this will be one project, the box. I'm going to do the cards inside as another project because you'll see, I'm going to show you right now. Because originally I was going to do 3 more cards, but we're going to do 2 other cards, not Ladybug. And so I'm going to show you these quickly, and I know you can rewind it and watch them, but I showed you this one already. So that's one. This is another one. This is another one. Oops. And this is the 4th one. So as you can tell, all the cards are very detailed. And so I've decided this is one project. The box will be another project. And everything will be cut, so it'll be easy to put together. But for time-wise, I decided to do that. And then we'll do 2 other cards that I've already got done also. So thanks, guys. So if you want to do my bingo, again, just go to my blog under Shop. Click on bingo. Now, when you see the bingo and the paper share, they're all in the same spot. Make sure you click on the text to open it. Don't just add to cart, because that's where you're going to register. So I know some of you have already paid, but you haven't registered on a form. And luckily, most of you already have your addresses and all that. But for bingo, I need your numbers anyway. So I need you to register. Hello, Barbara. How are you? So that being said, paper share is in the same spot, and we're going to be doing a paper share at $60. That's including shipping, tax, and shipping back to you. And it's also going to be all of the new papers and the specialty papers. So the only thing is the new in colors will be a pack of 6x6. And all of the other families come in those patterns too. Those will not be included. Just the new colors will be. And then all the new DSP and specialty papers. So those will be included. So that will be in the same spot. And that is about it. You know what I didn't think about is I do not have an updated picture of my remodel. And right now, You don't want one because there's boxes everywhere still, but I'm getting through them. So that's the good part. Good news. All right, so let's get to this card. I have this beautiful card to share with you, and I have some really great tips and tricks about this card. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can kind of see it. I did adjust my camera, so I don't think my head's going to be in the way when I need to get over the card and focus. I'm just making sure I've got my little buttons fixed, and I do. So this is the card. I did put some Wink of Stella on there, which I'm going to grab so I don't forget to put it on there. Such a pretty, fun card. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I did on this card. So we're going to get ready and we're going to do some different colors. So we are going to use Happiness Abounds, and I'm trying to find my dies. Here are the dies. So you're going to see we are going to use this top die here, which will be this one. We're going to use that at the bottom here. All right, and we're going to use pretty much all of them except these two right here. So I'll show you that. The paper we're going to use is this with the Hues of Happiness. It comes in that suite, and it's called Hues of Happiness. Okay, so the paper is gorgeous. I showed it to you guys at the reveal video, which is the last video if you want to take a look at that. Was it the last video or the video before? I'm losing track. Last video, I think. But these are the gems that come with that suite. They're so pretty. So we'll be using some of these. So we'll set this aside. Now, the paper I used for this card was, you can see here's part of it here. So I'm going to pull it out in the back and show you. Uh-oh, where did it go? I might have used it. Let me see. I thought we got more than one of each, so let me just make sure. Okay, so this is the one we're using tonight. Yeah, here it is. And this is the one I used for this card. So the last two sheets in this suite and in this DSP, you can die cut with your dies, and I'm going to show you that. But I don't like to just use my dies and then use the paper, and I'm going to show you. I have extras here from this one, so you can see that I cut along because I want to make sure I save all my flowers, and I want to save the rest in there and here. Okay, so that's where those are, and the rest are on the card. Okay, but this paper, you guys will have to go look at the unboxing. It's amazing. And the other reverse side, look at this paper. It's like it's paint. It's just so pretty. So there's that. I'm going to bring this in and show you how I do this. All right, so I have my card base, which is the thick basic white. I have Daffodil Delight, and then and that's 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have 3 3/4 by 4. And that's going to be my basic white layer there. So I'm going to put those on the inside so we don't mark those up. Then we have our Daffodil Delight. That's going to be our color underneath. And then we have this, our white piece that we're going to work with. So let me put that one aside. And I'm going to bring in my yellow. I'm going to use my yellow blending brush, so I'll put that aside. So you can tell that I cut this, and I'm going to show you how I create this first. So let's move this aside really quickly, and you'll see how the dies match and everything on here. So what I like to do is DSP is clearly not as thick as your cardstock. So I prefer to have a little more substance on my DSP. If I'm going to cut out images and use them kind of like an ephemera, you know, the thicker kind of paper, I want to add some cardstock behind this. So this is what I do. I cut this piece because it's going to fit on my machine, and this part might not, and that's fine because it's only part of a flower, and both of these are part of a flower, so just cut those off. Now there's a couple things you can do. If this were a solid colored, a solid flower, you can bring in your adhesive sheets. And the thing I like about Stampin' Up's adhesive sheets are you could pull this back, okay? Your sticky is on this side. You could take your image and just stick it on and take it off, and it's gonna stick here, but it's not gonna pull off a bunch of adhesive, okay? So you could cut your flowers out first, adhesive, put them onto white cardstock, but then of course you're gonna have to cut again. So because this paper, I'll show you, see all of these little flowers that are in here? All those, look at, this is what I did. I cut some out and I added them just in you know, in the back here. It's just kind of to help fill it in a little bit. And you don't really want to put them in here because you're not going to find those teeny tiny flowers. And there's white, you know, in between. So you want to kind of cut as little as you can. So I'm going to bring this out just a little while I'm doing this part. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to look for something really quickly because I just decided I should probably use it, but I cannot find it. So I have some craft mats, so I'm just going to deal with it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this off. What I do is I kind of put this right up against it and kind of see where you're at. Okay, and it's pretty close, so I'm not going to worry too much about not having any there. You could cut this piece off, but we'll fix it. So let's just go ahead and get started. You could cut this in half, do it this way, but because this one fits pretty closely, let's just do that. So let's add our adhesive on, which now I really don't need a cutting mat or a craft mat underneath me because we're pretty much just going corner to corner on our paper. It doesn't have to be exact. For the most part, you just want the paper to kind of add to the back so it gets stuck there. Oh, Laura, no problem. Hi, Holly. Welcome. All right, so now we're just going to keep putting this on here. And like I said, this isn't going to stick to anything except our paper. So this is what I'm going to do here. Now, this is what I'm talking about when you want to use just part of it. So right here, we don't need that, right? So I'm going to just go like this. I'm going to move over just a little bit to get this stuff over here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over a little bit just to make sure we get our sticky stuff. I'm going to fold that over so it doesn't get all over my mat. And see this over here? I'm going to not put it down so it doesn't get all over, right? And now I'm going to just pull this off. See how it's just sticking to the mat and you've got a little bit of sticky right there. So let's pull that off. Okay, so can you see how it didn't go all the way to the edge, but I still have some right here. So I'm going to hold this up and I'm just going to put some right here. And I have a little on the edge over here. I'm going to put some over here just in case we have flowers in that area that we need to get. Okay, so now we're done with that. So it's really a lot cleaner than a lot of sticky stuff that I've used. And you want to make sure you have it on your paper. And pull that off. Put the trash can back. Yeah, the paper is gorgeous, Becky. All right, so here we go. All right, so there we go. Now all I do is I take a piece of basic white, and it does not have to be the thick, because if you think about it, you're using the regular basic white and you're using DSP together. So just, I'm gonna turn this sideways so I can see it a little bit better. I'm just going to start at the corner. And again, it does not have to be perfect. Okay, so of course this is 12 by 12. So we can take this. Remember, we're going to die cut out these pieces. And don't worry, I've already die cut, but I want to show you how I do this because it is huge. It's very helpful, I think. I mean, you obviously don't have to do this step if you don't want to. So there we go. So now I'm just going to cut this off. And if you want to do sections at a time, you know, however you want to do it. All right, so now we've got all that taken care of. So now what you're going to do is now you have this, and now let's get our dies out, and I'm going to show you how this works. So the large flowers, either if they're the lighter or the darker, it doesn't matter, they're the same. Some of them look like they have a little lighter petals than some of the other ones. Like, see, these two are pretty much the same colors, and this one has a lighter. So at first I thought they were a different flower, but they're not. And then just, you can tell on this leaf right here where it kind of sticks out is this leaf right here. And so just kind of put it on there and it die cuts out. Okay. Same with these. You've got your leaves right there. This one has like a pointed edge, which fits this one right here. So let's just move this over here. This one can go right here. Of course, they're too close together, so you don't want to do them at the same time. This one here is going to go to this one. And then you have this leaf that right here can go with the multiple leaves. And then you have this one that goes with this over here that has the stem. Just like that. Okay, so what I do is I take this and I go through and as long as this goes through. Now, if this is too wide, which it might be, I would, you know, cut these ones out first and just keep cutting everything out. And then pretty soon you'll have this. Okay, so let me put these back on so I don't lose them. Okay, so I already die cut, but now that will be ready to die cut next time. So what I did is I die cut all of these out. These I'm going to use. Okay, so we have, see, it looks kind of like a pinkish because you saw the paper on the other side was that paint look. So I just kind of tossed these aside to kind of figure out what I'm going to use. All right. Then let's get our little leaves out. I don't know how many I have here. But then you're going to look and you've got these little flowers. So what I do is I go through and I cut out the little flowers, but leave the white and just kind of, let's see, I'm going to use the darker ones. Let me see what I have here. I had it all planned out. Now look at it, I've got every flower out here. So let's see. I wanted a light one and a dark. Let's see, we've got some leaves and we'll figure it out. We'll just leave all the flowers out and kind of decide. But now you've got these that you can cut out. So I still have to finish these. They're a little thicker. You don't have to have, you know, flimsy little paper. Okay, here's our leaves. We'll just pull all these out so we can kind of decide what we want. Okay, so there we go. All your little flowers, your little leaves and everything. Oh, I know why. Look, I put them in a different little container. These are the ones I'm using. That's why, because I knew this is what would happen. But these are all available, and these are just this half of the piece of paper. But look how pretty those are, right? It is so pretty. So here I still have my little flowers, and then I mean, look how pretty these are. But you still have the stamps where you can do your own also. But I like to add a little bit of paper, so I just kind of wanted to show you that. And this one I cut off, but you could, you know, die cut that off if you're going to tuck that under. So we'll just put that aside. So here are my flowers that I did, and I put them aside, so that's good. The next thing, what we're going to do is we are going to take our top piece of paper, and we're going to use this die right here. And if you look closely, it looks like a lattice. You can see like some little stitching in here that makes it look like a lattice. So we're going to use that to use the half flowers on the edge. You know, Felicia, I do sometimes. For example, right here, that one flower I just showed you, this one, you could cut it out and you could tuck in that right there and you wouldn't even know it, right? You wouldn't even know that that one was a half. I mean, you'd want to make sure it's I'm running into dimensionals right now, but if you could tuck it in enough to hide that cut off piece, absolutely. And I've seen one where you just cut it in half and make your products go farther and kind of tuck them in here and there. Like I have a rose right there. If it was, you know, cut here, I would still use it. Okay, so yeah, I would save everything if I can. Okay, so we're going to use that and we're going to use this. And so I'm going to kind of decide how I want to put this. And I think I did it like this last time so that you can see these squares. But then I decided to add more flowers when I did this. So I'm still going to kind of put it over to the side a little bit to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and put this across the bottom just like that. So let me run these through really quick. That's the big difference in this craft room is now I have a machine right here and I can just die cut really quickly. Whereas my other room, I used to have to pull my machine up off the floor and it was just a mess. So I'm trying to make sure that my little stitching piece across the bottom is nice and even. And I'm going to have to use a little piece of tape because it's wiggling on me. So I like to use repositionable tape. And that way I can just hold that in place and then run this through really quick. I have a card already on for Saturday. Now, I mentioned that Saturday's video is going to be or I didn't mention that it was going to be Saturday, I don't think. I'm going to do it Saturday because I just realized I did that way lower, but I'm actually okay with that. My video is going to be Saturday because Sunday we're going to go and celebrate our Easter with our family and the next town over. So, well, a couple towns over. And so we're going to do that on Saturday. Okay, so I ran this through once. And so what I'm going to do is take my brush and I'm just going to kind of get the pieces to come out. And you're just wanting to loosen them up. And then this over here too. Okay, so we've got all that out. Now you're going to notice that there's a lot of pieces still in there. And some of them, they're only partially cut. So I have some that come out all the way. Let me just go through. But you're going to see that some I don't. So these just kind of poke up. Okay, so we'll look at that in a second. Let's just get the rest of these that, and you want them to poke up. So don't poke those ones down. Okay, all these little heart-looking leaves come out. And they come out very easily. They're all cut. They're just stubborn, I guess. And I'm not using my little mat thing to go on. Okay. So all those look good. And now we're going to bring in our blending brush. And we're just going to add a little bit of color. Now, on this one, I added a little bit of the Pool Party. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to take some fresh freesia and just go over it. And I was kind of doing around it, but it kind of dulled my Pool Party. So I kind of wish I would not have done that. So you made those into ephemera. Yeah, kind of like ephemera, exactly. Do you use the flower? Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so yeah, so I would stick to one color. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do that one right now. So we're just going to put that, and I think instead of using daffodil, because I don't want it super bright, I'm just going to bring the So Saffron in. and my yellow here. And I'm going to do it here first. There we go. And now I'm just going to kind of go over. It's going to pick up. See how it's picking up the little darker spots. Let me pull you closer now. Okay. So now we're just going to kind of come in. This is going to be under, but I don't care. I'm still going to go over it. You never know where your flowers are going to end, right? And I just want to add a little bit of something in the background there. And I'm kind of going back and forth because I want my color to pick up on all of those grooves. So it's both ways. Okay, so there we go. That's all we need. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try to do this a little bit more just to loosen up anything that's still there. And then I'm poking through. So watch when I do this. I like to, let's see that all that interest that's in this little die, right? So now look on the left. See all those little pieces poking up? That is part of it. So I just want to push all these up a little bit. And I don't want it to rip, so I'm afraid to do it with the brush a little too much. So I'm just trying to kind of just poke them up. You don't have to have them all up. But just to kind of add a little more dimension, a little more character to this. All right, so I'm just going to keep all that piece came out. There we go, almost done. I want to make sure I get this part for sure because this is the part that you're going to see the most. All right, and this one last piece here that's, okay, so there we go. So now you can see just the little pieces. Now, if you did a green, I'm sure it would look like it was leaves because you put flowers in the middle of the cutouts. In the middle of this, like if you could see the flowers, like that. Hi, Diana. Could you put flowers in the middle of the cutouts? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Okay, so now what we're going to do is now this is going to go on top of here. So see, you're going to see that yellow come through and pop through. So we're going to put that on here. But first, we have some other work to do. So what I did is I did put the yellow directly down onto the card front. So let's do that. No, actually cut out flowers. Oh. And you're saying put them on here? I'm not sure I'm understanding. Actually cut out flowers and put them in the middle of the cutouts. I mean, you could just put flowers on there, but they'd have to be tiny ones. If that's what you're saying. But yeah, and make it look like a lattice wall kind of thing. That would be pretty. All right, let's lay this down. My poor husband worked on a wall, you know, like my stamp holder in the back here, and made another one. But it's a little bit of a different size. But he wanted it to line up all the way across. And this isn't lining up. Speaking of lining up. And so he came in here and they didn't line up. And he had cut it all and had it ready. And oh, he was sad. Okay, so now I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our flowers. And we have several. And I'm going to use the pink, which is the Sweet Sorbet ribbon. And we're going to kind of do the same thing. I just love this suite. When you guys see the catalog, it like just jumps off the page at you. It's just so beautiful. Okay, so we're going to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do is let's string it through our card. Now, this is going to take a minute, and I had a great idea yesterday that I didn't do the first time, so let me do that. I'm going to grab some tape, and then I'm just going to tape it right around the edge. I don't have one of those. Well, I do have a threader, but I don't know where it's at right now. So we're just going to put some tape to help me fish it through. Okay, so now we're going to come up from the bottom first because you want it to come up from the bottom so that you have the edge on the back side. Okay, so we're going to come up from the bottom. Well, I'm not sure this is helping any. I should have done it a little smaller, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. All right. So if you have a threader, that would work great, but if you don't, let's try a little piece of tape. All right, we're going to thread it up. Now I'm going to try and keep my thread smooth, okay, so that you have your thread flat, so your ribbon will be flat. We're going to go in and up. Now, I'm kind of concerned about this little piece down here, but we're going to tape it down. It's going to be fine. But I did do it a little bit thinner than the last time, but that's okay. All right, so just smooth your ribbon as you go. So this is going to be a little time consuming here, especially with tape. It's not the best idea, but trust me, it's faster than what I did the last time because I thought, oh, it'll be fine. It won't unthread. Well, sure enough, it did. All right, so just keep threading. So and again, I just keep flattening it out each time. It's easier if you watch where you're putting it through. All right, so and it looks so pretty. It just adds so much to your card. And this ribbon, I do love how it unravels and comes apart when you want it to add a little more to your card. Has anybody, any of the customers, have you guys received your catalogs yet? I don't know when they're being mailed out. I would hope that they're on their way. Demonstrators just got their catalog from the, well, we got ours for our on tour, if we did on tour, which was a fun event online. I'm sure you've seen some samples of the first stamp sets we got. And then they always send demonstrators a catalog. So we just got that one. So I'm hoping customers will be going soon. Not yet, Jennifer. Okay, well, keep me posted. I know I sent yours, so you were on my list. And like I said, if you need a demonstrator and you need a new catalog, let me know, and I will make sure to get you one. All right, so here we go. See how pretty that is? I mean, I'm looking in the TV and I don't even see the sparkle as much as it is in person. It's so pretty. This ribbon is so pretty. All right, it looks like a lot of holes left, but it's really not because it's kind of like you're skipping because you come up and down and it covers 2 holes at a time. So, but you want to make sure that it's not twisted because then you can't see the pretty ribbon. Here we go. So yeah, bingo cards are done and ready. So I'm going to start prepping soon. Try to get ahead of the game a little bit. But there's some really pretty cards, a lot of DSP. One has a lot of layers to it, a lot of DSP. The other one is clean and fresh with stamping and DSP. I had a whole lot of DSP on, so I wanted to use this particular paper. It's so pretty. All right, Diana, you'll be getting one too. So they just, I don't think they've shipped them yet. So, all right. So I just pulled that through a little bit and that helps straighten too, but you got to be really careful because you don't want to rip your paper. All right, we're just about done here. You know, it's funny. Sometimes I prep stuff thinking, oh, this will save time, and I totally forgot about this part. But that's okay. You can see that it takes a little bit of time, but it's going to be so worth it because it's so pretty. And if it's a little long, that's okay. You can pull it back through. So don't worry about that. Just get it through. My tape is fraying a bit. Yeah, a threader is definitely something I need to find. I have some. I have a whole box of them, but I don't know where. All right, and then back up and back down. That's another thing is when you use this, this is 3 3/4 and it fits just fine. Okay, so it's 3 3/4 by 5. So 5, it fits perfectly, and it's the whole thing fit on there. So if you did it a little longer, like 5 1/4, you're just going to have a little more space on the ends, which is not a big deal. Okay, so see, pull carefully. Okay, make sure it's nice and straight. And when you're pulling, that's what's going to help is when you pull it back, it's going to be nice. It's going to be a lot easier as if it was twisted. It'd be a little harder. Even though it's metallic. Oh yeah, it's wonderful. It is wonderful ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I am not even going to fussy with that tape, that teeny tiny piece there. We're just going to toss that. Now what I did is I'm going to take my seal and I'm just going to put a little bit right here. You could use white liner. You could use whatever you want. And I'm just going to tape it up. Make sure you're not taping it over your pretty speck here. Okay, make sure it's nice and firm there. Okay, one thing. See how I just made that and I pulled it tight? You want to make sure you don't pull it tight because you want this hole to be filled up right here. So just kind of go back under, put something there and just tug it a little bit. See how it's going to fill up that hole. And you can bring that up just a little bit and stick it down. So now you feel like you have that little hole filled up. Same with here. We're going to pull it up, but we're going to be really careful. See how I'm holding it now and it looks like it's filled in? And now I'm going to turn. So let's put a little line right here. And I'm going to leave that line right there and just turn that. Okay, so you want to make sure that you leave that little extra bit. I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive so this doesn't flake out at the sides there. There we go. Okay, so now you're going to have those two corners that look like they're all the way filled with your ribbon. Okay, so there's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our silicone mat because this has a little bit of adhesive, not a lot. But I'm going to bring this in and we're going to just work on that right here. Might be a little easier for you guys to see anyway. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to start. Well, first we're going to get my adhesive off of there. Okay. Now we're going to kind of place our flowers, but first you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to double it up like this. And you want to make sure that you can get it kind of across your card. And I would get a little more extra than not. Just kind of, make sure that it can go end to end there. And I'm going to cut it right about here. All right. And now I'm going to put it in half. And now I'm going to cut right there. Okay, so now you have two pieces the same length. Now I'm going to tie them in a knot. Because they do unravel so easily, you want to make sure you put them in a knot, because that way when you're fanning them out and moving them around, you're not going to pull a string out of your card. You don't want to be losing your string, right? And now you can just put it wherever you want to, knowing that you're going to fan this out and you're going to have your card is going to be just fine and you're going to get stuff everywhere. So I'm going to put it right about there. And now you're going to take, I'm going to move this apart. Let's try a couple things. I like to just lay it flat and then just take your pokey tool or your, take a pick tool or whatever you have, whatever you use. You could use scissors, I guess, but I don't want to cut it. So, and then just kind of fray your ribbon. Okay. And you might get little strands that come out because you tug too close up here. You want to start here and just keep going. And I'm trying to do it fast on a video, so I may lose a few strands. But if you just do it slowly, start at the end. See, I still just have one strand. And then we're going to turn it. Ooh, this pink is going to be, this is sweet sorbet. It's going to be so pretty. All right, so just, and it's really easy. Just start slowly at the end and work your way up. While I'm doing this, if you guys don't mind hitting a like and share and subscribe, that'd be great. This month's just a little different with my videos because of Easter and T-Ball. That's on Wednesdays. That's why I'm here on a Thursday. So if anybody didn't hear that I was going to be on Thursday instead of Wednesday, then if they were subscribed, they would have got a notification showing that I was on tonight. So that's always a good thing. So it is okay that you didn't go all the way to the knot. I wouldn't even worry about it. As long as you've got enough to kind of fan out on your card, then you are good. Now I've got that adhesive right there already. I'm just going to kind of fan this a little bit just to kind of see where I want to place it. And I'm going to put it kind of at an angle. But you're going to notice some of it's coming up here, but for the most part, this is going to go at the top. So pull it up and then set it there. And then that's fine for now. We can keep fanning as we go and as we add to it. Okay, so look at how pretty that is. Oh, right now you're like, well, that looks like a spider web, but it's going to be beautiful. All right, so now we're going to bring in our dimensionals. And we are going to start adhering our project together. So let me find some dimensionals that still have dimensionals. So here's one, and I want to get some minis. I'm not using black because this is not a dark project. If it was darker, black would be the way to go. And I forgot to refill my drink before the video. Silly me. My daughter called me and got me a little off track. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of figure out where we want to put our stuff. I'm going to put the darker one up here because if you look at this, we're going to put our sentiment here, and it's going to be kind of, it matches, it kind of angles here. So now I'm rethinking this because I was going to do this in yellow because I think the print on the dark is going to be too much. So we got to rethink this out here. And now we're going to put this here. And remember, we can go over a little bit because we still have this full card underneath. All right, I want to put our flower here. And that's going to stick out. Nope, that's why. Okay, let's see. And then we'll put this one here. We need another yellow. That's just all there is to it. So we're going to put this here. We're going to take this off. We can put that inside. What did I put inside here? Yeah, we'll put that inside. And we need a yellow. So where are my flowers? All over here. So let's see what we got. Here we go. So we're going to put a yellow, and I think I'm going to change this out for this one. Okay, I like that. See, this is about how I go. I really like that one. So we're going to go with that one. And then for the inside, I think what I did is I want to keep these little ones with the stem because there seems to be not quite as many of those. And I'm just going to add this one to the inside. And we're going to need a leaf. So we'll add that on the inside. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to pop everything up. So let's put our dimensionals on. So we're going to start with the first one we're going to lay down. Because sometimes you might not need to put dimensionals on it because it's going to be, you know, too high, too low. So let's put this on. All right. So now we're going to pull these down and we're going to make sure that this is fanned out and kind of comes across the top too within our project here. Because you don't need a whole lot right here. So I'm going to fan this part over, this part up, and we're just going to put this like right here. All right. Now we're going to take this one and put this one about right here. Now let's remember that we have our bow down a little farther, so we can kind of go down and it doesn't have to be clustered up so high. We can kind of fan it out a little, but you don't want it all spread out because you do want it to layer up on top of each other. So this is on top of this one, but there's no dimensional there, so I am going to put it on here. And we're going to go just like that. If there was another dimensional underneath this corner right here, then I would not put one up at the top right here because then this would really be sticking up. So I'm just going to do that like right about there. Turn it a little bit. And you can still kind of, you know, bring your stuff where you want it. So we'll work on that. And now this one is going to take up some of this white space. So let's add that. Okay, you don't have to put a whole bunch. This is going to kind of tuck under.